Some relationships don't begin in this lifetime, and some aren't meant to continue in it. Welcome to House DeLuna. This is Past Life Echoes of Volume 2, Karmic Relationships, a reading for those navigating intense soul bonds, unfinished business, and the moment when recognition turns into release. As you choose your pile, ask not who this person is, but what this connection came to teach, and whether the contract is ready to close. Pile 1 is represented by Pinolith, and the card, you are spiritually connected to those you love. Pile 2 has Rhodochrosite, and you will meet your soulmate when the time is right. Pile 3 has Lapis Lazuli, and you are on your way to meeting your true love. And pile 4 is Brown Zebra Jasper. And stop criticizing yourself. You are perfect just the way you are. So take a moment to look those over and go with which one resonates at first glance. If you chose pile 1 with Pinolith, this is your reading. In position 1 of your past life connection, how you knew this person in your past life, you have the Six of Wands and Rising Above. So the Six of Wands is a card of success, praise, and public recognition. The Rising Above card brings freedom from your problems. So it looks like maybe you came from humble beginnings and you made it your goal to overcome that. I'm getting that you saw this person as the answer to your prayers, that you saw this relationship as the solution. And that's not to say that there wasn't love, but when you're born into a situation that forces you into constant survival mode, everything else is secondary. The main priority becomes do whatever it takes to make it in this world. And you guys very much did that. I'm getting total relationship goals vibes. You guys built a home, a life, and a family together. It's giving power couple here. And as far as anyone on the outside could tell, everything was Pinterest perfect. But at the same time, I'm sensing a lot of self-doubt. Again, you did love this person, but they were also a means to an end, because deep down, you didn't see yourself as capable of building this life on your own. There was a lack of confidence or belief in self. It could also be that there was such a massive lack of resources growing up that the idea of achieving all of this on your own seemed unfathomable. And because of this, they very much felt like the missing piece to the puzzle that was your life. In the second position of unfinished business, what was left unresolved in this past lifetime, you have the Ten of Pentacles and the Temptress. So the Ten of Pentacles represents generational wealth, family harmony, long-term financial security, and the ultimate happy family home life. But then comes the Temptress. It feels to me like there was definitely a third-party situation here. I believe you guys were so well-to-do that it attracted vultures, and one of them made it their mission to get in between you because they wanted that life that you were living for themselves. There was definitely infidelity. Since your spouse had money, status, power, I feel that there may have been several instances, but then one person actually got what they wanted and stole them away completely. This was devastating for you and the children on many levels. This is heartbreak, financial instability, loss of social status, and the inability to trust both self and others. In position 3 of the Echo in the Present, how this dynamic is playing out now, you have Justice in reverse and Harmony. So I'm definitely seeing that lack of trust coming through here, but in this lifetime, I'm not actually sensing any real red flags. The Justice card in reverse shows unfair blame, lack of understanding, being unwilling to compromise, and unrealistic expectations. And the Harmony card says all is well, no need for worry. So it seems like the mistrustful energy from the past life is carrying over into the present and making it difficult to appreciate the love and blessings in this lifetime. This may be tempting you to sabotage the connection, perhaps constantly checking their DMs, policing their social media and friends groups, expecting them not to have a social life unless you're included. It's like you just can't shake the feeling that something is off, even if you've never found any actual evidence of wrongdoing. In the fourth position of your role in this contract, you have the King of Wands and Loss. So the King of Wands is a natural-born leader. He's open, positive, super optimistic, and often able to see the silver lining in every situation. And the Lost card here speaks of the end of a relationship, but also the ability to resurrect it. So with these cards combined, I'm getting very strongly that it is completely up to you whether you want this relationship to continue or not. If you do, then you're going to have to put that past energy to rest once and for all. Now, this is a general reading, so please don't try to make something fit if it just doesn't. If you actually know for a fact that your partner is cheating or doing you dirty in some way, like if you caught them red-handed or have non-negotiable evidence, then this pile may not be for you. Because I'm getting very, very strongly that this person's higher self deeply regretted their actions and came back to do right by you, and therefore isn't putting their hands back in that cookie jar this time around. So this is really about you. Can you forgive? Can you heal? And can you let it go? Because what I'm seeing in this lifetime is someone who has let overthinking just completely run wild and has told themselves stories until they started believing it themselves, even though their reality is nowhere near that internal story. In position 5, you have the High Priestess, and Sacred Journey. So in a love reading, the High Priestess shows up as a mirror. Our romantic relationships are some of the greatest teachers in our lives. They help us with the long-term development of our soul. And combined with the Sacred Journey, this person came into this life with you for that exact purpose, and you may be the only reason they're in this lifetime. If not the only reason, then at least the main reason. They felt they owed you a debt. But see, the thing is, our higher selves don't see things the way our egos do. To our higher selves, the greatest blessing you could give another soul is to help them learn the lessons they came here to learn. It's not glamorous, it's not romantic, but what it will do is keep you from having to go back through the same cycles, rinse and repeat over and over again. Because that's exactly what happens when we can't or won't learn what our soul needs to progress. And currently, one of the biggest lessons I'm seeing here for you that they're helping you to learn is the difference between overthinking and paranoia and gut feelings and intuition. So another thing I'm seeing here that we should point out is the numbers. This is card 2, this is card 22, both in the same position, very close together. So you might be seeing 222 frequently, like when you look at the clock, when you're with or thinking about this person. So I'd also, because you have these cards here, I would recommend looking up the significance of 222 as well. And the reason I'm saying to look it up yourself is because almost everyone will find a slightly different meaning, and that will give you more specific insight into your particular connection. In position 6 of completing the contract, what will break the karmic loop, you have the Page of Wands and attachment. So what I'm getting from this is you've got to learn to trust. And I'm not just talking about your partner, I'm talking about trust in yourself. Because if you remember, in these past life positions over here, it spoke of you not believing you could create the life you wanted on your own, that you felt like you needed a partner to build it with. And while there's certainly nothing wrong with building a life with someone, it shouldn't feel like you'd be nothing without them, because that's simply not true. You are powerful beyond your own knowing, and you must find that confidence in yourself to know that no matter what happens between you two, you can and you will thrive no matter what, because that's just who you are. The Page of Wands is fierce, fearless, adventurous, energetic, and ready to put new ideas and fresh energy into action. While the attachment card refers to loosening your grip, relaxing, letting go of fears and restrictions, it's asking you to walk away, but not from commitment, from the internal stories and belief systems you've been clinging to, in order to allow love and light to take over and restore happiness. The attachment card also offers some affirmations to assist with this. I am free from all negative attachments. I am guided by the power of love. I look beyond my fears and see only love. I deserve to be happy. I choose to follow my heart. In the final position of what freedom looks like, you have the Fool and Purification Fire. So the Fool is innocence, fresh starts, and new beginnings. And the Purification card burns everything away down to the naked truth and allows you to see clearly what is right in front of you. So if you follow the path laid out for you in this reading, It will lead to a brand new world. This is a new cycle, as opposed to repeating the old one. This is the path to happiness and new experiences. It's not a promise of perfection, but an invitation to build and create something from your own true vision. You just need to take that leap of faith. So to close this pile out, we also have your signifier card. You are spiritually connected to those you love. And your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. And that's perfect. That's exactly what your final card said. Okay, Pile 1, this was a deep message. There's some challenging energies here, but also the opportunity for deep growth and spiritual advancement. I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you so much for walking this lifetime with House DeLuna. If this reading resonated, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future messages, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey everyone, if you chose Pile 2 with Rhodochrosite, and you will meet your soulmate when the time is right, then this is your reading. For your reading, we'll be using the Vice Versa Tarot and the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. This, of course, is your Karmic Relationship Echo spread. This is volume 2 of the series that I'm doing. Just finished pulling the rest of your cards. We're almost there. One more. Okay. Okay, guys. So for position 1 of your past life connection, you have the Eight of Pentacles, which speaks of heritage, legacy, family trees, passing down a craft. You can see on this card, his son here is watching him work, and they're definitely tied to the land with that image in the background. The Balance card, the story behind this card is that Periwinkle here, he's an extremely talented actor in a very small town theater. He gets his chance to make it big time and signs a contract. He jumps through all the hoops while getting pulled farther and farther away from his family until he's completely alienated from them. And in the end, he's told there's no work for him. He never gets his big break, and he learns a hard lesson about not forgetting where you come from. So I'm getting a very clear picture here. In your past life, you came from a long lineage of craftsmen of some sort. Whatever they did, they had perfected the trade, and they were probably like the best at it in all the land. They lived a simple but fulfilling life and were a proud, very proud people. Then came you, next in line to inherit this family trade, but you wanted nothing to do with it. You had bigger dreams, differing interests, and left home to chase your ambitions. There was a falling out, and your parents were devastated. They couldn't understand how their own child could just break away from tradition like that. They couldn't accept it. More and more distance grew between you, and without the love and support of your family, you had a hard time getting a foothold in that life. Likewise, the family business may have failed without an heir. In position 2 of unfinished business, you have the Two of Pentacles. So you can see on the first side, he's on a harbor. He's got the sea and the boats behind him. And at the time when he's doing his juggling act, these people above him are coming out on their balcony, probably to actually look at the sunset or the boats coming in and out of the harbor. But here you are with your fantastic juggling act. So what this is saying is that people above you probably don't know your skills, gifts, talents, and abilities, and you need to find a way to get their attention. This also means that this is an auspicious time for applying for things and auditioning and just getting attention in general. Then with the Destiny card, you see this scene. These people are, well, souls really, are awaiting their next incarnation on Earth. But they're in love, and they desperately want to be together. All their past lifetimes where they were together ended badly, and they just want one more chance. But their next life is scheduled to be separate, completely different, where they'll never meet each other. So they petition the Grand Council to please, please let us have one more chance. And it's granted. So I'm getting that in your previous life, the rift between you and your parents caused everyone involved to be less successful than if they had just encouraged and supported your decision. I'm also feeling that for some of you, they might have even had connections they could have used to further your dreams, but they chose not to out of anger. And I think at the end of their lives, they regretted their choices. And I think you also regretted pushing them fully out of your life. But I think you all learned a big lesson on the importance of family, and the unfinished business here is not having been able to see and help each other thrive. So the Echo in the present. The Chariot on this card takes a path that only the charioteer can see. They may be creating the way simply by sheer force of will, but it is of cosmic origins. These broken chains here show that there's nothing holding you back. And with the mystical side of life demanding your attention, it would be wise to lean more on intuition. In the self-worth card, so the universe is presenting this Inuit child with the salmon chair. If you sit in the salmon chair, you can feel the love and abundance of the Creator, but only this child can see it. And when they run home to tell the village about it, nobody believes them. So this card is suggesting that you're beginning to draw to you events, people, and material things that are bigger and better than you're used to. Aim higher and learn to be receptive. Receiving is an art form, and your energy is the medium. So I'm getting that both parents are here with you again in this lifetime, although not as your parents, and you may or may not have met them yet. For some of you, at least one of them may be here as a spirit guide instead of here in the physical plane, and that they walk alongside you, clearing the path ahead. For the rest of you, they appear in your life as people who hold the key to your dream job, as hiring managers, talent scouts, directors, agents, marketers, anyone who helps you advance. And wanting more out of life has definitely followed you through timelines, maybe even more strongly this time around, but with the lingering self-doubt because of your past experience. These cards say to follow the signs and synchronicities and trust your gut. In your fourth position of your role in this contract, you have the Strength card. The Strength card on this side tells me that in this lifetime, you may be holding yourself back or subduing your ambition for fear of overstepping or being too much. It says not to be afraid of accessing your inner strength, to lighten up and not take things so seriously. You can be powerful without being overpowering. The Insecurity card represents giving up too soon, undervaluing your contribution, and doubting your ability, especially once things start going well. It's got imposter syndrome vibes and says that sometimes you are your own worst enemy. In fact, you know what? That old song from the 90s, My Own Worst Enemy, is popping into my head. I think it was by Lit. If you haven't heard it, you should look it up. Okay. But, so that card also says that miracles and transformations are ahead. Life always improves once you face your demons, so stay the course and trust that an ally will appear. So fear of failure has followed you from your previous lifetime, particularly if your current family is also unsupportive. Your lesson is to believe in yourself and to trust in the universe and in divine timing. Know that the perfect opportunities will be presented to you when you're truly ready for them. In position 5 of their role in this contract. So the Four of Wands shows a person who's tired of putting out fires. He feels defeated, that there's nothing more he can do. He's exhausted mentally, physically, and emotionally. He's ready to let someone else step in and handle it. The Growth card represents being willing to die fighting for what you believe in and leaving a legacy of love and courage behind you. So in this lifetime, I feel like they've been going through something that mirrored what you experienced in the previous lifetime. So now their soul understands why you couldn't just bend to their will and carry on the family legacy. For them, it's a different cause, but with the same effect. They may have differing religious or political beliefs from their family, or their family might not accept their sexuality or lifestyle in some way. So now their higher self knows that to truly love someone is to accept them exactly as they are. In your 6th position of contract completion and healing actions, you have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is a wise and compassionate teacher. He's steady, perceptive. He reads people like seeing straight into their soul. He's got a love of beauty and attention to symbolism, and his authority is tempered by his peaceful nature. He has fathomless depths of wisdom and the ability to tap into the vastness of the cosmos. So I think some of you honestly are about to meet this person. He or she will be your greatest mentor. Most likely, they're one of your parents from your prior lifetime. And then with the Expansion card, this offers advice towards your advancement. It's to stay away from anyone who is critical of your dreams. It's okay to seek wise counsel, but only from those who can see your vision. Beware of people who pick apart your ideas in the name of realism and who claim to have your best interest at heart, but who are honestly just too close-minded and short-sighted to get it. So in your final position of what freedom looks like, you have the Knave of Wands. This represents someone whose inner world is quietly drawn to what lies beyond the ordinary and easily explained. At their core, they yearn for magic, depth, and meaning. Yet their youthful self-awareness may hide this desire out of a fear of being ridiculed or misunderstood. They need periods of solitude to explore their inner realms, along with patient mentors and compassionate friends who encourage them and help bring out their strongest qualities. The Trickery card says that during trying times, things may be easier if you ask for help, but don't be disappointed if that help comes from places where you least expect it. Don't be afraid of speaking your truth. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with those closest to you, and be aware of hidden motives, including your own. Be honest about it. Pile 2, you've had cards throughout the reading that hinted at a deeper spiritual calling, and this final position confirms that. It also shows you finding your soul tribe and coming into your own, finding yourself and developing a deeper understanding of your higher self, and being who you truly are without apology. And that is a beautiful thing. I have one last card for you before we close. Your final oracle card says, when I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for walking this lifetime with House DeLuna. If this reading resonated, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future messages. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Guys, if you chose pile 3 with Lapis Lazuli and the signifier card, you are on your way to meeting your true love, then this is your reading. So in position 1, you have the 3 of Pentacles and Uriel Gold in reverse. It says imbalance, workaholic, detached, sacrifice. Okay, so this is in the position of your past life connection. The 3 of Pentacles is a card of community, cooperation, teaching and learning, sharing, teamwork, and co-creation. It says there's no limit to what you can manifest together, and it also signifies mutually beneficial relationships. And Uriel Gold in reverse tells me that you were probably too independent, possibly isolated. You had a hard time asking for help and a hard time slowing down to smell the roses. So these 2 cards combined in this position tells me that you and the person in question probably knew each other in your past life from working together, probably on community-based things, could have been charitable work, even volunteer work. I'm seeing that this is something that developed later in life, like you might have already had a previous relationship and either been widowed or it could have just ended somehow. And this is something later in life. I'm getting that whatever it was that you were working on, in a way you were using it to fill that space that was, you know, that you had left open from missing your family that you had before. But I do also see that whatever cause this was that you were working on was very, very dear to your heart. It could have also been trying to affect change in the world through a political stance, but whatever it was, the person in question, I think, was right alongside you with it, and I think they also felt very strongly about this cause. But I see them being more as like a benefactor, like maybe they were the one writing the biggest donation checks or whatever it was, but they also believed in it very strongly. You guys may have also been wealthy, both of you, or one or the other, or both of you, but regardless, I do not see this as something that was just a tax write-off for you guys. I think your whole heart was genuinely in it. Let's see. Okay, so for unfinished business, you have the 6 of Swords and perfect timing. Okay, so the 6 of Swords shows healing, moving on, support from others, help arriving in the nick of time, but this is also loneliness, turbulence, finding it difficult to carry on, feeling alone even when support is offered. So if you can see on this card, I know these cards are small. I need to get the bigger version of this deck because I absolutely love how descriptive the pictures on these cards are. You almost don't even need any tarot experience. Like, you can almost just see it on the pictures. They're so perfectly portrayed. But anyways, so you can see on this card, she's in choppy water. Shore is nowhere in sight. She doesn't know how she's going to get back. And here come these birds. I don't know if they're ravens or crows, honestly. I'm not sure which. But either way, they come along, they tie themselves to the boat, and they're dragging her to shore. But you can see on her face, she doesn't even notice. She has no idea of all the support that she has, and she still looks despondent. Like there's just no getting through to her that she's going to be okay no matter what you're doing for her. Then with the perfect timing card, this shows that there was something you both wanted and the timing was right, But with the Six of Swords combined with it, I'm sensing that nobody acted on it. There was hesitation. I'm almost seeing like your spirit guides are over here trying to get you two together. Like this, whoever this person was, they wanted to be those birds for you. They wanted to help lift your loneliness and sadness and get you back into the joy of life. And more than just your community-based stuff. They wanted you to be truly happy, and they wanted to provide that for you, but you just couldn't see it. Maybe you just weren't ready. Maybe not enough time had passed, but I'm sensing they truly loved you and they wanted to be there for you. But, and I'm seeing like your spirit guides cheering you on and asking you both what you're waiting for. Like this was like very much a soulmate connection, but the timing just wasn't right. And so this is kind of looking like it's shaping up to be a missed opportunity reading, honestly, but just across lifetimes, which is a little bit romantic, I'm not going to lie, but a little bit sad too. Okay, but let's see how it goes in the present. So you've got the Queen of Cups and Law of Attraction. So the Queen of Cups is someone who's extremely intuitive. They have highly attuned emotional intelligence. They're highly empathic. They lead with their heart. They see the divine in everything. And they have the capacity for deeper connections than most people, and they're also deeply connected to spirit. The Law of Attraction card is co-creating with the universe by staying positive, keeping your thoughts empowered and focused while taking action, which creates positive momentum in your life. And yes, I know that's a very simplistic way of explaining LOA, but that's a topic that I could go off on for a several hour-long tangent, and we just really don't have that time in this video. So if you know, you know. If you don't, I definitely recommend jumping down that rabbit hole. But with these two cards in this position, what I'm seeing is that these are gifts that you have developed because of your community work, because of your generosity and your love for humanity in general. So now you are equipped with the ability to read situations and read people and just have hunches and, you know what's going on. And then the Law of Attraction card, I'm also getting that you have this ability to manifest things easier than most, that it just comes naturally to you. And I'm also sensing that this could be directed towards this other person coming on in for you. Oh yeah, of course, going back to the original card, that you are on your way to meeting your true love. So yeah, you guys might not have even met yet, or maybe you just met. But it's almost like you feel there is something missing from your life and you can sense it coming. And from this reading, what I'm seeing is that, yes, it is coming in. There is something missing, and it is from across lifetimes. Sorry, guys, I had to get up. Our new cat was at the door desperately meowing to get in, so I had to get up and see what he wanted. I don't know if you heard that or not. But anyways, I'm back. So your role in this contract. You have the Two of Wands in reverse. This card shows insecurities, feeling worried about your abilities, the fear of taking the next step. This is non-action and too much daydreaming. But this is also an opportunity for alignment, but there's a need for you to make your move. Then with everything's okay, I can't remember if I read this already or not, disbelief, alone, unanswered, frustrated. So this card shows chaos and stress, obstacles in your path, feeling like giving up. So it also says to remember that you're not alone and don't throw in the towel just yet. So these two cards combined in this position of your role in this contract, I do believe you've carried over some of the humanitarian role that you brought from your past life. But in this life, you just feel stunted and stuck and you just don't really know how to carry it out. I don't know, there's a little bit of like, maybe it's because you do feel like something's missing and you just can't put your finger on it. But whatever it is, this is what you're here to work on. You're here to get through this and to affect the world in the way that you're wanting to. Let's see what their role in this contract. Oh, of course, Ace of Cups. They're here to offer you a cup of love. And Spirit Relationships in reverse. Blocked, disconnected, burnout, scared. Okay, so the Ace of Cups represents new connections and romantic relationships, seeds of hope, newfound emotions, openness, awakening the heart chakra, oneness, creativity, and positive outcomes. But truly, it's just a card of the potential for all of those things. And potential is really nothing without action. The Spirit Relationships in reverse is a card of trying too hard. It's the fear of being unable to truly connect with someone. It's also feeling a little bit desperate for love or even just to get a message from them. It's being so attached to the outcome that you push it away. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but this is also a law of attraction thing, but it's also kind of just common sense. If you're so desperate to receive something, like that energy of desperation truly repels the thing that you're trying to attract into your life in the first place. I find that especially true of relationships. You know, if you chase somebody too hard, it kind of scares them off. And so what I'm seeing from these two cards combined in their role in this contract is that they are really just super socially awkward. They're a very, very good person inside. They have very true intentions for you. They want nothing but the best for you and for you guys together and for your life, but they just don't know how to get there from here. So that's their role in this contract, is to figure that out. That's their lesson. In your 6th position of contract completion and healing actions, what will close the karmic loop? You have the 10 of Cups in reverse and the Don't Compromise card. It says boundaries, assertiveness, courage, and wavering. So the 10 of Cups in reverse shows disharmony and disputes, miscommunication, struggling relationships, unrealistic expectations, and not feeling worthy of love. It is also a warning against placing your happiness in external things. And since this is mostly a love reading, it's more a warning about placing your happiness into a relationship. Because if you place your happiness into something outside of yourself, then the moment that thing or person is taken away, then you're no longer able to be happy. True happiness and joy is something that needs to be cultivated from within, because that way nobody can take it away. You should never give your power away like that. And that's true not just of relationships, but of anything. If you can only be happy with a 6-figure job, then the moment the market crashes and that job isn't available anymore, then you're unable to be happy. If you put your happiness in being able to go shopping, wear certain clothes, drive certain cars, then the moment those things don't exist for you anymore, you can't be happy. Same with a relationship. If you only see yourself being able to be happy with a certain person or in a relationship in general, then the moment something happens to that relationship, you can't be happy. Don't give your power away. Cultivate that happiness for yourself. The Don't Compromise card encourages you to hold firm to your boundaries and remain assertive, even when it feels uncomfortable. Situations may arise where your commitments or personal vision are questioned, but this card reminds you to choose what aligns with your well-being. It's not necessary for everyone to understand your path. Trust your inner guidance, stay rooted in your truth, and remember that your strength is worthy of recognition. So I'm getting kind of 2 different messages here. One is about the relationships. One is about all this other stuff that you are here to work on in this life, your humanitarian instincts and your, career. So basically, if this is your healing actions and what can break the karmic loop, I think you have to find balance between the two. So this is talking about problems in a relationship. So once this person comes along, you're probably thinking, well, this is my soulmate, shouldn't it be perfect? But no, that's not the case. Let's face it. There is no such thing as a perfect relationship. You're not going to agree on every little thing. You're going to have little fights. You're going to bicker. It's okay. That's normal. The important thing that matters is how you deal with that. Every feeling is valid. Every reaction is not acceptable. That's one thing to learn. Another thing to learn is to be able to be in a relationship and not get carried away with it. Also, to be able to be career-minded or humanitarian-minded and not get carried away with it. You can have both. You really can. It's just a matter of learning to move within those energies, to not let one cross too far over into the other. Maybe that was the problem in the past life. Maybe you guys worked too closely together, and that's part of why it couldn't have worked. Maybe you need to keep those things a little bit separate. That's what I'm getting from that. Okay, so in your final position of what freedom looks like, you have the 9 of Wands and self-respect and worthiness. So the 9 of Wands is a card of resilience, defiance, elastic. I mean, just look at her. If that doesn't say defiance and resilience, I don't know what does. That's why I love these cards. They're so perfectly drawn. Anyways, so this card is also excitement for what's to come and finding motivation to keep going on. It's saying it's only a little bit farther, so don't forget how far you've come and finish this to the end and you'll be happy that you did. And then also the self-respect and worthiness card. So I think I'm just going to read that one out of the book because I really can't say it any better than the book does on this one. Okay. Your self-confidence and power are expanding due to your commitment to positive self-talk and use of affirmations. The universe is delivering more encouragement and motivation to you now more than ever before. Because of this energy shift, you can expect doors to open, deeper connections to develop, and the natural divine energy of joy to fill your life. Color activation, pink and purple. The color pink is reminding you that love comes from, oh, see? Perfect. Love comes from within. That's what I was saying. When we are truly expressing self-love, the world reflects that back to us. The energy of purple literally helps you to stand tall and be in your power. And let's see. Oh, yes. Also, your final oracle card. The universe has my back. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for walking this lifetime with House DeLuna. If this reading resonated, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future messages, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! If you chose the brown zebra Jasper and the signifier card, stop criticizing yourself, you are perfect just the way you are, then this is your reading. And guys, disclaimer here, I'm using the Sufi Wisdom Oracle cards for your guys' reading, and they're huge. So I'm going to do my best to try to keep them all in the frame, but I know these ones on the bottom down here are kind of cut off. So as I pull them, I will make sure to show them to you individually. Okay, so in your first position of past life connections, you have the Four of Swords and silencing the mind. Let silence guide you to your inner peace. So the Four of Swords is a card of waking up from a nightmare to find you're also still living a nightmare. But in reverse, it goes a step farther and says you can't even sleep to have a nightmare. This is stress, burnout, and insomnia. It's neglected self-care and being pushed to your absolute limit. It also symbolizes a need to retreat and to know when to give up. The Silencing the Mind card says that sometimes the best response to a person or a situation is no response at all. Or in this instance, I'm feeling that silence may have been the only safe response for you. I know there are plenty of cultures in this world who still participate in arranged marriages or purchasing their wives or even acquiring them through acts of war or violence, and even more so in the past. And time is not linear, so this past life could have been from any time in the past. Also, if you're a male in this lifetime, I know some of you don't like to hear this, but that doesn't mean that you were a male in your past life, even if you're a male now. Our souls are nothing but pure source energy. They're not inherently male or female. Your gender is simply a manifestation of your meat suit in this life. You do not take your avatar with you when you croak. So for pile 4, I'm getting very strongly that in the lifetime in question, you had been a female who found herself in a very bad romantic situation, legally, and there was nothing that could be done about it except just to try your best to stay out of the person's way, to try to go as unnoticed as possible, and just to try to survive the best you could. So that's definitely some challenging and dark energy to work with, but there's always a silver lining. Because the most difficult stories to overcome also have the biggest rewards and the biggest opportunities for gifts and growth potential. That's why so often our higher selves just so lovingly sign us up for the hardest level in life. It's all for the development of our souls. In position 2 for unfinished business, you have the Queen of Pentacles and imagination. Draw from the well of your own capabilities. So I think in this position, the Queen of Pentacles is showing what your highest potential in your past life had been that you didn't have the chance to become due to your situation and the inequality present at that time. The Queen of Pentacles is stable, abundant, practical, with a great sense for business and finances. She could run a business and the household simultaneously with equal success. But more than that, she's often a homebody, nurturing and comforting those around her. She's often the one people turn to for advice and guidance. She also has a luxurious streak, and she knows how to plan a party, often hosting the holiday parties and events throughout the year with a sense of grace and whimsy. She makes everything feel special and magical. The Imagination card is a card of allowing your imagination to guide you to find new directions and possibilities, and to access your own potential to have a better quality of life. In order to live your best life, you had to find a way to break free from the oppression that you experienced. It's saying that the resources and opportunities had been made available. But I'm getting here that you hadn't been able to imagine freedom as a possibility. And I'm definitely not saying you were at fault here, that Four of Swords reversed energy is very heavy. Some would say that this is the worst card in the deck. So to draw the courage necessary to liberate yourself from that nightmare would have been nothing short of miraculous. There were very real threats looming over you, not the least of which being your very life at stake. So it's understandable why you would remain silent. But in the unfinished business position of the reading, it means that you've got the chance once again to break free and live life on your own terms. In position 3 of the Echo in the present, you have the World and deal with the unexpected, treat the unforeseen as a divine offering, the World in reverse. Okay, so the World in reverse is a card of a cycle needing to be completed that just keeps repeating. It says you're not enjoying the journey of life. You might find it hard to stay in the moment or to be truly happy. Considering the trauma from the past life, you may have come into this one hardwired to expect the worst and find yourself constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. And in a relationship reading, this card can also show disconnection, alienation, being together for the wrong reasons, and partners taking each other for granted. This deal with the unexpected card confirms that feeling of expecting the worst. This lifetime may be bringing you just bad event after event, and you're just wondering when you'll finally catch a break. But this is the universe trying to show you that you have everything within you to overcome, so that nothing like your experience in your past life can ever trap you again. This present day Echo asks you to recognize that disruptions are not random. They are karmic signals meant to redirect awareness. When something unexpected surfaces, it's inviting you to step out of reaction and into conscious choice. These moments are meant to test how you respond under emotional pressure, revealing where self-trust and personal authority are still developing. By choosing perspective over resistance, you begin to break the pattern and strengthen your confidence in your ability to navigate this dynamic differently than before. In position 4, your role in the contract, you have the Ace of Pentacles, and trust your gut feeling. Let your heart lead you to who you are. So the Ace of Pentacles in this position says that you have in this lifetime a new opportunity for a stable and abundant life. This is the potential for prosperity and security, and you may even have a chance to manifest a privileged life. And with the Trust Your Gut Feeling card, your role is to recognize the potential for abundance and stability that is available to you, and to actively claim it. This path requires self-trust and a willingness to take decisive action rather than waiting for circumstances or others to change. When you choose to believe in your own capability and move accordingly, you align with the fuller expression of this contract. The life you are seeking is not out of reach, but it does require conscious participation and confidence in your own direction. In position 5 of the role in this contract, you have the Seven of Pentacles and Concealed Power. Give birth to the wonder of revelation. Okay, so before we get into these card meanings, I want to stress something to you. If this person in your life is toxic, you do not need to stay with them just because the universe threw them into your path to teach you a lesson. In fact, sometimes the very lesson that person is meant to teach you is to know when to walk away. Also, they might not actually be in your life this time around in the same capacity. You were married to them in the past life, but they could be anything in this one, from your boss, a friend, even a relative. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so you have the Seven of Pentacles, which is a card of hard work, perseverance, patience, attentiveness, and investment. It also shows a fear of failure in some cases, but also the ability to learn from one's mistakes. If you're not in a romantic relationship with this person, I'm getting the feeling they're definitely still involved in your finances somehow. Either they're your boss, or they somehow stand in between you and an inheritance, or they might even be a swindler of sorts, draining you of your resources. With the Concealed Power card, this person's role is to be a catalyst for awakening, through contrast rather than kindness. They activate a hidden strength within you, one that was suppressed in the previous incarnation marked by control, imbalance, or harm. Their presence exposes what once kept you small, challenging you to recognize your own creative power, autonomy, and capacity to choose differently. While the connection may feel heavy or confronting, it serves to awaken dormant self-belief and reclaim personal authority that was once denied. The lesson they bring is not about enduring darkness again, but about realizing you no longer belong to it. In your 6th position of contract completion, closing the karmic loop, you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse and union of love. Embrace the beloved within your heart. So this karmic loop is rooted in power imbalances, manipulation, and emotional debt carried over from another lifetime. The Six of Pentacles in reverse shows that this person operates from a place of lack, using control, guilt, or obligation to extract energy and resources from others while believing they are owed more than they give. Their expectations are transactional rather than heartfelt, and when those expectations aren't met, resentment follows. They are truly the epitome of the word entitlement. The lesson here is not about fixing them or repaying some fictional debt. Instead, they're here to awaken your awareness of what doesn't align with love, reciprocity, or respect. They mirror an old dynamic so it can finally be seen clearly and then be released. The Union of Love card calls you back into remembrance of who you truly are, a conduit of source energy, experiencing life through human form. As you reconnect with that truth, you are asked to conduct yourself with integrity, self-respect, and emotional sovereignty. Releasing this person or situation does not require punishment or confrontation. It requires neutrality and conscious disengagement. By accepting that this connection has served its purpose, you dissolve the inverse energy it once held over your life. What no longer resonates will naturally fall away, making space for relationships, opportunities, and experiences that reflect your growth rather than your past wounds. Closing this contract restores alignment and allows you to begin attracting what is genuinely worthy of you. In your final position of what freedom looks like, you have the Ten of Cups in reverse, and speak out, communicate, and solve the conflict. So I'm seeing the energy moving out of the Ten of Cups and into the Speak Out card. Freedom is not defined by maintaining the appearance of harmony or holding a broken structure together at your own expense. Instead, it comes from honesty, naming what is wrong, addressing conflict directly, and refusing to stay silent to preserve a false sense of peace. The Ten of Cups in reverse shows a history of emotional disconnection, disharmony within close relationships, and the pressure to protect or validate others while your own needs were minimized. And Speak Out represents the turning point, choosing courage over comfort, truth over avoidance, and self-expression over self-sacrifice. Through open communication, you reclaim your voice, reduce internal and external conflict, and begin rebuilding trust in yourself. This shift does more than liberate you personally. By learning to recognize unhealthy dynamics and having the bravery to address them, you become a source of clarity for others who are still trapped in similar situations. Your lived experience gives you the ability to sense when someone is silencing themselves or enduring emotional instability, and your example offers them permission and the strength to choose differently. True freedom, then, is not just escape from past pain, but the confidence to speak your truth openly and use your voice as a light for those still trapped in darkness. And pull your final oracle card. It says, energy flows where my intention goes. So guys, make it your intention to speak your truth from a place of love and respect for the divine within you and see how your life changes for the best. Pile 4, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for walking this lifetime with House DeLuna. If this reading resonated, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future messages. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!